Hi, good afternoon. I'm Michiel de Wit and I'm going to show you how to play Rollercate solo. There was always a solo mode in Rollercate, but with the second edition we actually added a second solo mode in which you play against a virtual opponent. And in my opinion, that just changes the experience a lot, because now you actually are playing against an opponent rather than against, or basically a score table. In this session I'm going to walk you through it. Please feel free to ask questions if there are any, and just enjoy. We're going to play a bit of a game. I'm not sure if we're going to finish the entire game. Usually a game would take like 20 minutes or so, but since we're using Tabletopia, as you know, that slows down everything a bit. I'm not sure we will be able to finish the game in 20 minutes. Anyways, please enjoy. I'm going to start with a general explanation. I'm going to assume you haven't played Rollercate before, so I'll just tell you some things about the game to start with. So Rollercate is a card game, but not quite, because the cards are actually used to build a track for a train. And the goal is to get as few penalty points as possible, and that's hard. In general, it will be quite impossible for you to not have penalty points. In fact, I've never seen anyone finish the game without any. You get penalty points by the train derailing. And you say train? Yeah, train. There's a train that's going to your right. That's this one. It's called Rollercate. It's an historical locomotive, actually. It really exists. And this train is going to ride on the tracks. And the trick for you is to build tracks faster than the train is going to ride. And if you don't succeed, then you'll get penalty points. Alright, I'm just going to start playing the game and explaining at the same time. I think that's probably easiest for you and easiest for me. So for starters, we have to start and prepare the game. So I shuffled the deck already. There's 55 cards in the deck, but when you play with two people, like you would do in this solo mode with an Automa, you remove 11 cards. So they are set aside. I would say put them in a box, but we don't have any here. And then I'm going to build a bit of a starting track. So I'm going to move the train out of the way. And to do that, we actually take the 4 first cards of the deck. I'm just going to put them open on the table. And you see there's different kinds of tracks there. So there's curves, there's long stretches, and actually over here you see there's some broken parts. Now I'm going to build a track in any way I see fit. It doesn't really matter much at this point, so you can just get creative or do whatever you like. I'm going to put this one here. It's quite hard to position them properly on Tabletopia, but in real life it would be quite a breeze. Over here it's more like you're trying to do heart surgery with robot arms. Then I'm going to put the locomotive on the 3rd card from the start. So this is the 1st card, 2nd card, 3rd card, and locomotive is always going to move towards the end, so towards this curve actually. Now I'm going to deal myself 2 cards, and my virtual opponent, you can see it over here. Let me just move him here, or her, I'm not sure what's his name. Actually in the rules she's named Betsy, so I'm just going to say it's a her. So I'll move her over there. That will be her spot. She won't get any cards because she's, well, the Automa. So how to play? Every time it's your turn or the turn of the Automa, you will draw a card. So let me just do that first. Now I have 3 cards and I can choose out of 3 actions what I want to do in this turn. The first action is always a pass move, so you can always pass. Passing means that you actually move the train forward a bit, if that's possible, like this, and you would take the last card of the track and put it on your penalty stack. I'm just going to put that over here as a penalty stack, and to make sure that you understand it's my penalty stack, I put my marker close it. This marker is not included in the box, it's just a Tabletopia thing. So this would be the first option. So right now I have 2 penalty points, and in the end of the game all the penalty points will be added together with my points in hand, and they will be my final score. So this is not a perfect move for me. I'm just going to roll back. Now the second option would be to play a chaos card. Well, if one comes up I will tell you, but generally if you have a chaos card that's useless, you cannot build tracks with it. The only thing you can do is put it on your discard pile. So it's rubbish, but it can be put to good use, and perhaps we see in this session what you can do with it. The most interesting move, of course, would be to build tracks. and I'm going to do just that. When you build tracks, you can take as many cards off your hand as you like, as long as they have the same number at the top, and put them on the table. So let me just take the 2s. Important with playing cards is that the every card actually shows a number on the bottom which it cannot connect to. So you cannot connect a 2 to a 4. So whenever there's a 4 at the end of the track, you are not allowed to connect a 2. Luckily there's a 3 and everything just works out. I'm going to build a track here, like so. Put that one there. And I'm going to put this one over here. I think I like it already. It looks lovely. Now, after every build action, you are going to move the locomotive, and you do that by first counting the points you added. So I added 2, and 2 is 4 points to the table. And then I'm going to roll an equal amount of dice. So right now I have to roll 4 dice. Luckily I have 4 available. If you would have to roll, say, 8 dice, it can happen, or even 16, you would have to roll multiple times, but I think that makes sense. Let's roll the dice. All right, so I rolled them, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 wheels. Every wheel means 1 step of the locomotive. So right now I have to move 4 steps. So let me just do that. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and the 4th one would be an issue. I cannot do that. The locomotive actually derails. So what does it mean? Whenever the locomotive derails, so I have to take a number of cards that's equal to the number of steps I was not able to do. So right now I had to do 4 steps. I was able to do 3. So I have to take 1 penalty card. So that means I'm out of luck. 2 penalty points. That's not a bad thing necessarily, but it's something I want to try and mitigate. Okay, now it's the turn for Betsy. Betsy will just draw a card, just like I did. And I get to look at it, because otherwise it would be really hard to play. And whenever it's possible for Betsy to build the card, she will actually do it. So she can build this card. There's no rule against it. The only rule that could be prohibited is, well, the number at the bottom saying that you cannot connect it. And of course you're not allowed to overlap cards, so it needs to be tidy, but she can just do this perfectly fine. Now Betsy will not roll any dice, rather she will just move the locomotive the number of steps indicated on the card. So right now that says 2. So I will move 1, and again the train derails, so the track is not long enough, and she will actually have to take a card. Betsy always takes 1 card regardless. So if you would have to take 4 steps, you would still have to take 1 card when derailing like this. She put it on the pile. In the end of the game, she won't count the points on the stack, but rather she would count the cards, and that will be her score. So her scoring is slightly different, but you will find it quite hard to beat her. So I think it should be interesting for you. All right, it's my turn again. I draw a card, and okay, now I'm in trouble, because I can see I have 2 4s on my hand, and 4s are not allowed to connect with a 2. The general rule is there can't be a 2 difference. So what to do? Well, the only thing I can really do right now is to pass. Passing means I take a card and I move the train. Well, the train can't be moved, but I do take a card. Well, you can see over here, I'm putting a second card on the stack. I'm going to build a stack, and only the top card can be visible. Whenever I add a card to the stack, actually I can combine cards. And that means that whenever the number of the card I'm adding is the same as the number of the card on top, I could combine them into a pair and move them both into the box. Right now it's a 2 and a 1, so I'm not allowed to combine. But this is something to keep in mind. And when you would have to take more than 1 card in a turn, you can actually determine the order of discarding yourself. So you can make some really good combos if you're lucky. And actually, that should not be luck. Of course, you should plan for that and look at what cards on the end at the end of the track and play accordingly. All right, so now Betsy takes a card again. She drew a 3, and well, that's a perfectly valid card for her to build. So I can decide where to put it. I'm going to put it here. Now she moves 3 steps again, and that's impossible. So she can only take 1 step, and the train derails. Well, she will put her cards on the penalty stack as well, and she can combine 2. So whenever there would have been a 3 on the stack already, and she adds another 3, both of them go into the box. But she's not this lucky. All right, so please note, I now have 3 points and 4 points in my hand. So my current score is 11 points, whereas Betsy only has 2 cards. So I really have to up my game here. I'm going to draw another card. I hope I'm lucky. Well, I think at this point the only thing I can do is play the 4s. I'm not allowed to play the 1. So I could choose to pass, in which case I would know for sure that I would have to take 2 points, add them to my stack. That's not a perfect thing. Or I could play 1 or 2 of the 4s. And if I play the 4s, which I think I will be doing, that would mean I would have to roll 4 dice. And in a worst case scenario, I could actually end up having to take 3 cards. So let's see what happens. I roll the dice, 3. That means 1 movement. And I take 2 penalty cards. Well, in this case, these 2. Now this is interesting because I would move this card on my stack like this, and then I put the second one on the stack, but I have equal numbers. So whenever that happens, you are allowed to combine it, like I just said. And let me just do that. I'll combine the 2 cards, and when you combine the 2 cards, you can move both of them to the box. In this case, this is going to be the box, the place where I leave all the cards that are out of the game. Alright, so this move, even though it was a little ballsy, playing a 4, having to roll a lot of dice, actually earned me quite some points. So I lost the 4 from my hand, and I lost 2 points from my penalty stack. So that was a good move, I think. And now my current score has improved. I'm not as far behind Betsy as I used to be. Alright, next move for Betsy. So she will draw a 3, and she can build a 3. And you can see what will happen. She's out of luck, and in a way, well, that's because of the distribution of the cards. She may be luckier later on in the game, but right now she's out of luck, and she has to draw 1 more card. So she now has 3 cards on her stack, right? My turn again. Alright, so I drew a 1, so this gives me, well, still 1 option because of the 3. So what to do? I can either choose to take a risk or take a card. That's basically it. And if I'm going to take a risk, I may actually end up with a lot of points. So at this point, if I would play the 4, then well, actually it's not even possible to play it. So because I would have to overlap, and that's not allowed. So I'm going to have to pass. I take the last card and put it on my deck. This is not a good thing for me because now I have 3 penalty points here, and there's other cards below there. So I'd rather not get more cards there, but it will be tough. I have to find a way to get rid of it, and this 3 on the table might just help me. So Betsy plays a 4, which means that she has to move 4 steps. She cannot, I'm sorry, there's a tabletopia thing. She cannot do that, so she plays 1, and then she moves. And she takes this 4 away. Now this is perfect for me. I really love what you just did. It's my turn, I draw a card, and now I really have some interesting options. So first off, there's a 4 on the table right now. So I can connect all of my cards. What I will probably do is add my 2 4s. And of course that would mean I would have to roll a lot of dice, but there's only a very limited amount of cards I can actually take from the table. And it's likely going to be the 3, well, the 3 I need to have, and it's going to be the 4, perhaps 2 4s, and it will be fine as well. So let's see what happens. First roll. I roll and I get 2 eyes. Okay, remember. I roll again and I get 3 more. So I have to do 5 steps. So I think I'm lucky. 1, 2, and I take 3 penalty cards. 3, 4, 5. Now you can see what just happens. The 3 matches the 3 in my penalty stack, so they both combine, and I can put them on the discard pile, like this. And the 2 4s actually would combine as well, so I can move both of them to the discard pile directly too. So this was a really good move for me because now I lost quite a lot of points. I actually freed up some space on my penalty stack. And, well, the only downside might be that the track is really short, so there's no buffer at this point. But let's see what Betsy does. She plays the 3, and she can build a 3, so that means she'll just add it. And she'll have to move 3 steps, but again, it's not possible. Mainly because she just keeps drawing a lot of high cards, so she's out of luck. But if she draws them, I don't have to do it. And she takes 1 card. Now let's see. I think we should probably move the table a little. Now she's lucky too, because she had a 4 already there, and now she has 2 4s, and she's allowed to combine. So for her, this is a bit of luck. Of course, she's an Automa, so all she has to fall back to is luck and some really basic rules. But it makes it harder for me, because right now it means she only has 3 points, and I am still stuck with 1 and a 2. So that means 3 points, and I have 2 points in my hand, so it's 5. So it's really still not. I'm not winning. I'll have to find a way for Betsy to get more points, which I could do, I suppose, by adding as much different cards as I possibly could. So this is the card I just drew, and this is the only card I can actually play apart from a pass move. And at this point, I think I'm going to pass, because if I pass, I would have to draw a card from the end of the track, and I'm not able to do it. So there's no penalty points for me. Just 2 more points in my hand, but they'll come in handy later. I'm sorry, I should draw a new card for Betsy from the penalties, from the draw pile. She draws a 4. Well, she can play a 4. That's perfectly allowed. I'm going to put it here. I'm not sure I'll like it later on, but I just like putting it there. She's going to move her the train again, like this, and she'll have to take a penalty card, because she has to move 4 steps and she can only do 1. So this is a really minimal situation right now. So it's not. Well, it happens more often in Rollercate, but it's indicative of something to happen. Whenever the tracks are really short, it means there will be a lot of lower cards on the draw pile still. So we're probably going to see those in a bit. Right now it seems like the track is really short. It will grow shortly. Mark my words. So I'm going to play the two ones in my hand. They are a safe bet, because whatever I do, I would have to roll 2 ones, 2 dice, and I can never roll more than 2 wheels. So I know it's not going to derail. Oh dear. Tabletopia wanted to stack it real badly. So I'm going to try and position it as neatly as I can. Okay, this is a glitch. Please don't mind. I'm going to roll 2 dice, and I roll 2 wheels. I'm not sure I'm entirely happy with that, because I wanted to have some more space there, but Betsy will have to clean up first. So Betsy will draw a card. What she draws is a 1. Well, I told you already, we're likely going to find a lot more 1s. They are, the game is heavier on the 1s than on the 4, so it was bound to happen. She just moves 1 step. Now, this is probably the first turn she doesn't have to take a penalty card, which is good for her, not so good for me. I draw another card, so now what to do? You can see I have 1 on my penalty stack, so I'm not going to want to risk putting a 4 on there, because it will be terrible for lots of reasons. So I'm just going to play it safe, I think. I don't like playing safe, especially because it will mean there's a long stream of 1s on the track, and it will help Betsy. I have to be careful. It will help Betsy quite a lot later on, because it will allow her to combine. So I'm not sure this is a good move, but I'm not sure the alternatives are any better. All right, let's roll the die. 1. Okay, well, that means unless Betsy's going to draw 1, she's going to derail. But she's lucky. She's a lucky lady. I'm going to add like that, because I feel like it, and I think I'm going to use the shadow of the card to position. All right, now I'll move the train forward 1 step as per the rules, and that's her turn. So there's 22 more cards. As you can see, that means we have 11 more turns. So there's quite some space for me to move and to see how I can improve my score. She now has 4 cards, so my chances are improving, and the only thing I will have to try and do is prevent her from combining cards. So the 3, well, there's no 3 right now, so she's very unlikely to combine anything. So still the 4 situation is there, and well, frankly, I'm a little scared of the 4, and I would really like Betsy to take the card rather than me. So I'm going to try my luck playing 2 2s, and I'm hoping that I won't roll more than 2 wheels, which statistically speaking is not entirely unlikely, but is, well, I think my odds are better than when I would roll would just roll 2 dice, and then also just okay, come on, Tabletopia, move the dice. All right, like this. So I'll roll all 4 of them because there's 4 points I added. And all right, this is not something that makes me happy. I have to move 1, 2, 3 steps, and the 3rd step I cannot take, which means that this dreaded 4 is going to be mine after all. So let's put it on my discard pile. So as you can see, this game is quite mobile in the sense that the track is going to move all over the tables. It's almost like you're playing a game of Nokia Snake, if you know what I mean. I'm going to move. That's probably one of the benefits of playing this game on Tabletopia. You can really easily move all of the cards at once without any problems. So let me see what Betsy does. Betsy draws a 2. Well, this is a good thing. Or is it? Well, not anymore, really, because I wanted it to happen before. But she can build, so that's a good thing for her. But she will have to, well, let me move the train first. She have to move 2 steps, which she cannot do. 1, 2. And she takes 1 penalty card. So her stack is growing. Now I have to try and prevent her from taking another 1, but that will be hard unless I somehow find a way to get a lot of these cards out of her way. But I'm fairly sure she's going to be able to combine the cards again. The only option I have right now is to play a 1 or to pass, and I don't think I want to pass right now. I want to make sure that I really need to get a 4 to get this card off my discard pile. All right, so I'm going to take these out of the way and then roll just a single die. Let's see. I'm not sure. Bad connection. That's a bad signal. So we probably have to wait for Tabletopia to return. So this probably this gives me an opportunity to do a bit of an analysis of the current situation. So as you can see right now, I have a 4 on my discard pile, and I want to get rid of the 4, and I still have a 4 in my hand as well. I don't know about Betsy, but I know that if I want there to be a 4 on the tableau, to be able to pick it up and to later discard it, I would have to put it there myself. I would really have to wait for Betsy to do that. I'm not sure I'm willing to wait for that, and I may have to force my hand. So let's see. I think I'm a little worried about this whole situation with Tabletopia where it's reconnection. I'm going to just refresh the page as a whole. I'm sorry for that, but this is, well, it's a live stream. It can happen, I suppose. Alright, so it's preparing. Let's see if there's any internet connection. The fact that you're still seeing me means that that the connection is not lost. It's probably something to do with Tabletopia and a lot of people trying to play games at the same time, because, well, it's probably a good time to play games. So it will take a little while. I think it's trying to load resources from the cloud, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of, oh really, I'm not sure. That's not a good sign. I'm ever so sorry. I'm going to try it again. It seems it's having trouble connecting to home. Oh dear. Well, this was bound to happen. That's the downside of demonstrating using Tabletopia, I suppose, over demonstrating using plain old cards. The upside is that, well, as I showed you, it's a lot easier to manipulate the cards in Tabletopia, and I don't need as much table space right now to demonstrate for you. Alright, let's see what happens. I'm really afraid of what's happening here. I think this looks promising. Ah, right. I was afraid we were going to abandon the game, but luckily we're not. So what just happened is Betsy played the 1, and I'm sorry, I played the 1 and still have to roll a die. That's where we were. I'm going to try and grab the die. Sorry, roll it, and, well, nothing. That's interesting. So Betsy will be in a lucky situation, depending on what she draws a 1. Right, so she builds a 1. This, as I told you, this is going to be a huge stream of 1s and 2s, I suppose. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's going to work in the favor of Betsy. Okay, so she moves 1 step. The good thing is she doesn't derail, so that means she's not going to combine anything either. The bad thing is, well, I think right now that's a good thing. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to move the tracks a little first. So I have a 1 and a 4. I can play both of them. If I play the 1, I'll be safe. So that's a good thing. If I play the 4, I will be putting a 4 in there to later come back to, and I will need it. So I'm just going to play that. But the downside is I'm very likely to collect at least 1 penalty card, and 1 penalty card is the worst. 2 penalty cards would be okay because they would combine in this case 2 1s, but 1 would be awful. Let's see. Okay, 0. Well, that's the ideal outcome as far as I'm concerned. So that was my turn. I don't have to take anything, and my plan is set in motion. Now Betsy drew a 3, and she can build a 3. Not happy with that per se, because she now moves 3 steps. 1. Oh dear. I'm not entirely sure why. What part of the cursor actually is supposed to grab the object you're hovering, but apparently it wasn't. So let's just make very sure. So she moves 3 steps because of the 3 on the card, and the train is right in front of the track. Now there's 60 more cards, so that means 8 more turns for each of us. I get a 2 and I get a 1. What I want to do right now is, I think I'm going to play the 2 because I want to get rid of points, and there's always a chance of getting a penalty point, but at this point, so be it. It's not entirely possible to prevent it, but I don't want them because they will be blocking my 4. So yeah, this is what I feared would happen. There's 1 and there's 2, so it's penalty point. So remember, there's a 4 below there that I really want to get rid of because it's a terrible amount of penalty points. Now let's see what Betsy does. Betsy draws a 1. Well, that's good for her and not so bad for me. I'm going to put it here because I like the shape of it. She will move 1 step. There she goes. And no derailment for her. Now, at this point, I really want to get rid of the 1. And there's only one way for me to do it and be sure that it happens, and that's to pass. So I'm going to pass. That means moving forward to train 1 step, cannot do. And I'm going to combine these 2 cards. So I have to draw the penalty card. As you can see, it combines with the top 1 on my discard pile, and voila. I'm back where I want to be. Let's see what happens. Alright, so Betsy plays a 4. Well, this might be good for me because it means there's a 4 in there. There's a second chance. She moves 1 step, 2, 3, 4. She cannot do, so she has to draw 1 card. Unluckily, as I predicted, she is going to be able to combine the 2 cards. So for her, it actually is a good move because she now loses a point. I'm going to have a really tough time winning from her now, I'm afraid. But let's just try and be optimistic. There's still chances that I might win this game, although I would have to say they're not absolutely wonderful. Alright, so my options right now. I can play a 3 and I can play my 1s. Not again. This is a shame. So I'm fairly sure there's something going on with Tabletopia right now. They're probably very busy, and it's Saturday, of course, and around this time of day at Spiel, there's going to be a lot of people. Let's hope it all works out. So if I play my 1s, not something particularly good. If I play, they're gone again. I really feared we're not going to be able to finish this game. I'm going to play my 1s. It's the only safe thing. If I play the 3s, chances are I'm going to draw 1 or 2 cards, and 2 cards would be terrible. Would it be? No, I'm just going to try see what happens, because it feels like that way I'm still in control in a way, and otherwise I'm just leaving it to chance, and still Betsy's not going to clear a lot of these cards, so I'll have to do that myself. I'm going to roll the dice, and it will be 1 step. So I'm really happy I just rolled with it. Now Betsy, see what you do. She plays a 3, so that's a good thing. It means she will collect another penalty point and put it here. She moves the train 1 step forward, and that's 1 more point. So right now, let me check what her score is. She's at 5, and I have 4, 1, and a 2, so that's 7, 8, 9. So I think if I get rid of the 4, I might just win this game. Let's see what I get. Right, so there's a 4. What am I going to do? I think I'm going to play the 4 and hope I will roll 3. And that's fairly likely, so it's not entirely weird thing to do, but it's not like 100% certain. So I'm just pushing my luck a little here. But I really need to, otherwise I'm not going to win from Betsy. So let's see what happens. And I roll 3. Well, that's just what I predicted would happen. Because of the distribution of the dice. So 1 step and 2 and 3 I cannot do. I have to take 2 penalty cards. Those are these. They are 2 2s. And they combine. Connection is lost again. They combine, and I can move them in the box out of the game whenever I get a chance to do that. So let's see. Yeah, there it goes. And I was hoping to move the 2 together. There I am. And all right, so that's a good move. I'm really happy with that, because now I'm really quite close to getting this 4, and I need a 4 to stand a chance of winning. So now I have to be careful not to let Betsy have it. So she plays a 2. Well, she cannot play a 2 because there's a 4 on the end of the track. So she has to do a pass move, which means she draws a card. Well, I don't mind. But things are getting tense now, because there's 1 4 right now, and I really, really want that 4. And there's only 8 more cards in the deck. Right, so this is where I draw the Chaos card. So Chaos cards, I told you about them before. They are not track cards. As you can see, there's no rails whatsoever. The only thing you can really do with it in your turn is discard them. So that's a third action in this game. Discard 1 or more Chaos cards. Right now, I have to make a plan to get rid of the 3, because I don't want to end up with it, and the 4. So I'm not happy. But as you can see, there's a 3 coming up here. So I might just be able to combine the 2 of them in some clever way. But things are going to be tight, really tight. At this point, I'm going to play the 2 1s, which will give me a little more control, I guess. The train in a way over what Betsy will do. And I'm going to put the card here, careful, to make it fit. I roll 2 dice, but I know in advance that I'm not going to derail, but hopefully, that's good. So Betsy is going to be the one to derail the train again. 7 more cards. Betsy draws a 3. She cannot play the 3, so I think I'm happy with that. It means she'll have to draw another penalty card, and the odds are ever turning in my favor. So now she has 7 points, and I have 10 points. So this is going the right direction. I just have to hope I won't draw anything unlucky. I'm just bad connection again. Well, this is probably a good time to spend thinking about what I have to do. So I have the 4 I really want to get. So what I can try and do, which will probably work. No, it won't work. I'm going to have to play the 1. That's the only option I really have. But if I play it this way, chances are that Betsy is going to have to pass, because she will draw a card that she cannot. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. Actually, she can play this card, I'm really not happy that she does. If she plays it this way, and it's the only way to play it, it means there will be a lot of passing going on for the next few moves. And basically this is probably what will ruin my chances of winning. So now that was her turn, and what will happen right now is I draw a card, and you can see that's a 2 chaos card, so that might not be terrible. She's going to pick up the 1, and I want to stall in a way, but there's no way I can stall her taking a card. I could play the chaos card, but that would cover up the 4, and that won't help at all. I'm just going to have to pass, I'm afraid, like she will have to do. She will draw a card just for the sake of it, but of course she will have to pass because of her own darn move. It just backfired, my whole idea. And now she will take this 4, and that will make me sad. Even though it's penalty points for her, it means there's no chance I will ever get to, because it's my last move, will I ever get rid of the 4. I really tried. And look at that. Now there's another 4 in my hand. I'm not sure how to fix this anymore. I can either pass, which will give me more points, or play a chaos card. So I'm just going to play a chaos card, and put it on my discard pile. Now, last card will be for Betsy. Let's just show what it was. It was a 3, and now she will draw. She has to do a pass move because of her own stupidity, and will put it on her discard pile. Now she ends with 9 cards, so that means 9 points for her. Let's see what we got. First I'm going to take all the cards in my hand and put them on my discard pile, like that. And wrong move. Move the table, please. And now I'm just going to see what's on there. So I've got 7 cards, and that's not going to end really well. So it's 2, it's 3, 7, 8, 10, 14, 17 points. That really ended terribly. I really tried, but I was just unlucky, I suppose. But the difference in scores not all that terrible. So for her, it wasn't that good of an end game either. For quite some long time, she actually had few points, and then in the end, I was slightly able to steer it in another direction by adding the right cards to the track. So I'm not sure how long we spent on this game, but it's probably be like half an hour. Slightly slower than when you would play it alone. For me, this was a fun game. I think what I noticed in this game was that at first there were quite some higher cards, which was favoring me a little, because Betsy had to take a lot of cards. But then when the lower cards came, things turned a little, and I was unlucky once with the 4 I picked up, and that's where Betsy really started winning. I really tried to get access to this 4 by putting it in there myself. Probably should have done that before, thought about that before, if I had the chance. But what really killed it for me was this 2 that Betsy played, where she basically locked up the entire thing. I hate that move, unless it's the move I get to play and win the game. I hope for you this was an interesting demonstration of how to play the solo mode of Rollercate. There still is the other solo mode where you actually play without an opponent. It's similar, but in that case there's no opponent to counter, so you really have to puzzle your way through the game. I personally prefer a solo mode with an Automa with a virtual opponent, because I think it gives some more interaction. And like you hear me say, I was just really talking with Betsy, so to say, and it felt like I was in company, which is a schizophrenic thing to say, I would say. But to me, this feels like it's more fun as a game experience. So thank you for watching. I hope you liked this demonstration. If there's any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me, send them in the comments, or drop me an email at Gam'inBIZ.com. Thanks so much. See you later.